In the shadow of decay I rise, typhus the herald beneath poison skies. With nobles rattling worlds to waste, the reaper's scythe no life can escape. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth, I spread the plague with the twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death, God where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In nobles name I spread death with ease. Nestled was with me hand in hand, rivers of filth drown the land. I am typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin I claim the day. Light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, what consumes the just.
Yeah, sure enough of that. Let's get rolling. I think this is the right button. Let's find out. There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast. Hopefully, you guys are having a good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. But yeah, happy to be back with another. Sorry, it's normally on Sundays. This, but obviously been pushed back to Mondays. Just had a bit of a hectic weekend, so had to reshuffle things around. But alas, here we are. Hopefully, you guys are having a good one. So, hello, welcome if you are new here. Welcome to the Blight Surgery. This is a plague surgery. This is where we go through our Blight Lord tier members and above's list submissions onto the Discord, and we basically pick out a few of the interesting ones, or if we've been bribed. I definitely didn't just see a bribe. That we're basically going to go through on the stream. We offer basically a little bit of echo on my mic. That's why. Back that off. That should. There we go. Sorry about that. It was still. It was. It was. It was. The webcam was trying to work at the same time the big boy was. Honestly, new PC has been absolutely nightmare. I think that's finally the last setting that I need to fix, so we should all be good from now on, thankfully. What a nightmare. I'm going to turn it down because it's really loud as well. Let me just lower that a little bit. Spiky. There we go. Happy days. So yeah, we are going to be going through some lists tonight, obviously, as we usually do. That should be... so hopefully people let me know that it's fixed on the microphone side. Man, I'm so glad to finally be getting towards the end of having all setup issues done with this PC. So, we have already got a super chat. So, thank you very much to Ryan Dragon out Potato. And hey, Potato. Hello, Plague Fam. It is your dude, Potato. I was wondering if you could be so kind to indulge me and check out my list that I'm taking to Balticon this Friday. There is a picture and you are tagged. 100%. I will look at that one first thing. So, thank you very much for $10 super chat there. And yeah, so if you are interested in joining in the fun, you can become a Plague Marine member. You get access to our Discord. Blight Lord tier members and above get access to the Plague Surgery and Blight Surgery, where you can basically submit your lists for review on the stream here. So again, I tried to apply to some in text, and the interesting ones we pick out, because there's just far too many for me to stream in. I would be streaming like 24 hours a day at that point. So let's have a look at Mr. Potatoes here. So Mr. Potato, let's find it. Potato. There we go. Here we go. Okay, going to be playing Balters at Dawn's Balticon GT this weekend. This list is locked in on what I am bringing to represent. So this is locked in, yeah. I have attached a picture for you to see the army. He's almost fully painted and just has some touch-ups. Would live to hear thoughts. Okay, so we're not after changing the list. This is 100% locked in if I am reading this correctly. Is that correct, Potato? You are indeed the Potato. How are you doing, Mr. Potato? You are 100% Potato. Oliver, apparently I'm looking more like a Votan every stream. That's just because I'll keep lowering my chair every single time. Not that I need much there. Right, cool. So this is locked in. Okay, no problem. So we are rocking Big Man himself. We've got Mr. Mortarian over here. I mean, a Demon Prince. We're playing Virulent Vectorum. So this is the Demon Prince with the Revolting Regeneration. Then we've got a Lord of Contagion. Let's go grab him. 50mm bases for life. You're never taking it off me. Lord of Poxes, interesting little choice there. I do like it though. Teleman. I've got Teleman. There we go. Then we've got 7 Plague Marines. So we're just going to grab a random assortment of 7. We'll go through the weapons in a second. 3 Death Shroud Terminators, 2 Chaos Spawn. There's our Chaos Spawn. There's our Death Shroud Terminators. Predator Destructor, Tank. up here. We'll take the white one for some reason. Then we'll go with 2 fetid bloke drones with heavy blight launchers. So launch drones, 2 of those buggers, 2 Mythetic Blight Halls, and then 3 squads of 10 Pox Walkers. So, let me grab these. Excellent. Right. So, whap, whap, whap. Okay. So, let me just arrange this all nice and neat and pretty so it looks a bit more presentable. Death Shroud. We'll do it with the Lord of Contagion. Plague Marines are going to be accompanied by the Lord of Poxes. Inside, we do not have a Rhino. Okay, then that is interesting. But we did a lot of Poxes. We need this guy here, this guy here, this guy here, this guy here. 2 more engines here, Tallyman and Poxwalkers. So, thoughts on this. So we are playing Virulent Vectorium now. We do have Demon Weapon of Nurgle on the Lord of Contagion, which is the better choice between the Lord of Poxes, because obviously he's going to have the sustained hits and the lethal hits. Now in the 7-man squad, we are rocking a Plasma Gun Power Fist, Plasma Gun again, Plague Spewer, Blight Launcher, 1 Bubonic Heavy Weapon, and 2 Heavy Plague Weapons, which for me would be 100% like the sort of loadout I'd go for a 7-man, so I do like that. So, in this one here, it's a bit different from what we normally see when we come to the Mortarion Demon Prince combo. Normally when you see this, there's a bit of a... Normally you can see like a lack of engine, so they'd be like something like that away, but you'd probably have like a... either the Plague Marine squad would be a 10-man plus the 2 characters in there, and a Rhino as well, and there was normal needs a Predator as well. Or people will instead eschew the Plague Marine brick, and instead bring double Terminator Death Shroud brick with this. Now, I actually quite like the build you've got here because I think it goes a little wider than usual. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have the scariest Plague Marine brick in the world here, but you do have Lone Up, which is going to be important because you don't have a Rhino at all. But in terms of like general use, like this squad here is still going to be decent. Point out OC. You have the Lone Up 18 to keep you safe. These guys can make your way toward your natural objective and kind of stay there. Loving the triple Poxwalkers though. Sticky objectives and infiltrate is really powerful, and just having all these dispensable units. The normal thing you see when you have the Morty Demon Prince combo is an immense lack of like actual units on the board, because obviously you have these 2 guys, you have a 10-man Breaker Plague Marines and some Death Shroud. That's basically all your points, and then all you've got around that is just a little bit of play. Here, we've kind of took away some of the power of the Plague Marines, and we've also got only 1 Death Shroud unit, but what we do have is we have ability to play a bit more wider. Your scoring is going to be decent, because again, you've got quite a few little units here. Like the Predator also can do some nice synergy, combined with like giving the Death Shroud Terminators an extra AP on those Flamers if it shoots something. Also can bring these launchers up to AP 4 potentially with -1 save contagion, which is pretty good. Now we've still got a unit of Chaos Spawn here as well, for making sure we have ways to spread our contagion to get a good drop on the Death Shroud Terminators. And obviously all these guys are going to give a great Lone Up as well for the Demon Prince and the Infiltrate. So it's kind of a hybrid. Like one thing we do normally see is we normally see in a non-Morty build, Morty will go out, and what we'll usually see is something like that. With the so not always with the Destructor. Like the Destructor again would usually be used to upgrade like this to a 10-man, get a Rhino, maybe cut one of these for another character. But like it's not super far off it in terms of like I said, it's like almost like a middle point between the 2 lists. Now, obviously, it depends what your goals are for the list, Mr. Potato. And obviously, it says it's almost fully painted up. And let's have a look at this picture here. I'm just going to pull this over so everyone can enjoy this. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. How cool is that? That is so colourful. Look at that Morty. That's awesome. I was like a Morticia, to be honest. Love the Predator as well. The great unclean one bits here. This is really awesome. Oh, you've done the Glooming Lord scheme as well. You absolute bastard. I love it. I love it. 100%. I get it. And the thing is, at the moment, as you're saying there, that's the normal list that you play is that more standard one. But you wanted to bring Morty along, and I think this is a good mid ground because I have said before, playing the Morty and the Demon Prince list together. In the actual, like, more stereotypical version with the Demon Prince Morty, 2 squads of Death Shroud, maybe the Plague Marines, it's very hard to play properly because it's quite specific on how it has to function, and you don't have many assets, you're quite thin on the board. And I think if you were to have swapped it over to try and take that, you probably might have struggled, just because, again, even when I took it for the first time, didn't get on with it at all, really didn't like it, really didn't enjoy it. Whereas this cuts a nice middle ground between the 2. So you'll still have the comfort of enough units that you're used to playing with, but you then also get to still play around with Morty here. And now, Now, don't get me wrong, there are certain things you can do, like you have potential to do things like reactive move back out of 18 inches with these Plague Marines here, firing back with stuff like Predators and these drones, pretty good as well. Like Fight on Death is obviously going to be quite nice as well. If these guys, for example, are low up behind a wall and then someone charges them, having access to Fight on Death with these guys is still going to be fantastic. Overall, like it's a fairly, like I said, it's a hybrid between the two lists, but it has got a good bit of everything. It will genuinely play games, and like I said, it kind of depends what you're wanting to like try, what your goals are for the event. You're going for best painted, right? That's fine. You've got a good chance of that one. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't think you got to worry about that one too much. But in terms of like gameplay wise, it's fairly standard. It's fairly not standard, but it's fairly happy with how it is. They've got a nice good bit of synergy between it. You got a good amount of shooting here between the Blight Halls, the drones, the Predator, the Plague Marine squad. Obviously, like I ideally would have like a Rhino really, but again, it's not like in this scenario here. We're all, like you had to make points cuts because that probably would have lost you this and an enhancement. And again for a 7-man and a lot of poxes. It would have been okay, but then you also need something to set up your Death Shroud drops, so the spawn are really important in here. So in general, like if I was to go around playing this, you have kind of playing it the same sort of style, where realistically, to be honest, you're kind of having to Demon Prince. I don't know if this is one of the kind of lists where your Demon Prince goes and sits in the middle as much, because you don't have the Rhino with the 10 guys and all the ridiculous damage output, but at the same time, like, because you got Mortarion here as well, you've got, like, the tag team power here. So, your Demon Prince can still go in the middle, but rather than being an almost trade piece, it's almost like a bait piece. It's like, okay, come on, step forward to shoot me, but bear in mind, if you come within 9, I will reactive move off the middle and behind the wall. So, that's actually pretty good. So, you're looking more to less about trying to punish and trade, because, like, you might struggle to punish a little bit without all the bells and whistles on this squad here, without having to bring Morty out. But you've still got the reactive move to be able to make plays and make opponents come out and basically punish them for it. But there's also something to be said about if you have obviously you have a board like this, you put Morty up at one end, you put Demon Prince down at the other, like, and they push different flanks. They're still going to have to like choose to deal with one of those targets, and for a lot of players, especially like not top table players, it's going to be hard for them to commit the correct amount of like effort towards each one. So you can kind of give people troubles with that. And then obviously what you do is what I would recommend, a lot of people will do this, is if you've got Morty going down one flank and Demon Prince going down another, a lot of people will see where the opponent reacts to. So say the Demon Prince or Morty starts getting hammered, they will knee-jerk response to go and reinforce Morty with a Death Shroud. Whereas what I'd ask you to do is actually stop, fight that initial response, and say, okay, so Morty's the one that's getting peppered, but the Demon Prince is pushing him real deep and kind of not being answered. If I then double down that side, can I completely collapse this flank? It becomes a question of, can Morty just hold on? Like, he could pull back a bit, play a bit more defensive up that top angle, while you just crush completely the other side. So, don't always... I see a lot of people get tricked into basically trying to reinforce a losing flank. And sometimes it is the right play. Like, if it's really important that, like, you know, you don't lose that flank, it is important. But sometimes it's better to almost match your opponent's aggression with your own aggression somewhere else, because then it's... I don't know if everyone plays RTSs, you can kind of get into what's called a base race, where it's like, cool, like, I'm smashing down your flank, you're trying to smash down my flank, but Morty should realistically, outside of being shot by stuff like Fire Dragons, etc., should be able to survive a little longer than whatever else is on the opponent's side. So the idea being that you can, you know, you push harder than they can, and by the time their flank's collapsed, it's collapsed quicker than yours is, and then you can start bringing that Demon Prince or the rest of the guns to bear to then come and liberate where Morty has either died or he's on low wounds. So just be aware of that when you come in. Don't be afraid to put this Predator in reserves as well. I would quite often probably reserve this Predator unless you're against really heavy early pressure or you're worried that your opponent's going to try and just outshoot you. You're not going to win against dedicated shooting armies with this being your shooting output. That's kind of normal. Don't worry about that. It's not an insult to the list. Like, we don't have like amazing shooting platforms, we've got good ones, but this guy in reserves just again can come in and either help a flank get crushed more, or this is something that can kind of come in and just sort of put your opponent like, okay, now there's a Predator up there as well who's shooting down flanks and just trying to stop my advance a little bit. So, and also it's really nice to set up the Predator with the Death Shroud just to make the most out of the Flamers, because like Morty's Psychic can make good use of it. The AP additional on that's pretty nice. The Lantern doesn't really need it. The Bloat Drones really like it. Like, if I was to put these together, like, these are the kind of units you want to be buffing with a Predator. these guys genuinely don't need it. It's multi-melter. The Rockets, they'll take it. Like, don't get me wrong, they'll take it happily. But really, it's these guys wanting to benefit. So just bear in mind, if you put the Predator in reserves, when you bring it in, you're kind of looking to get shots into a target you want, but still being able to put a Havoc launcher or your Combi Bolter into something to benefit these units here. But honestly, mate, like, I think you'll have a cracking time with the list. Like, it's not got any, like, straight-up weakness. I don't look at this list and think that's a bad list or that's a weak list. Like I said, the biggest thing for me is, like, I like Rhinos, but I like the fact you've at least brought the Lord of Poxes in here to sort of alleviate the need for that with the lone op 18. And as long as you play this squad fairly defensive, maybe they kind of just go and kind of put on your natural and just kind of like focus on holding that for a bit. And you've still got access to fight on death if someone charges. And with a lot of poxes in there and the weapons you've got fighting on death, you can take a chunk out of something that tries to fight you. So yeah, I mean, overall though, mate, I think with it already being locked in and being able to make changes, I wouldn't worry. I think you're going to be all right with that. And I think it's much more comfortable for you to do this hybrid list between you two rather than trying to do the full Mortarion, full Demon Prince build, because I think that's a bit too much to just throw yourself in the deep end at. You definitely want some practice games. As for you Poxwalkers, because you got 3, don't be afraid to maybe sack one to try and get a big sticky off turn 1, stretched across 2 objectives. But if you're more of a defensive player, feel free to just kind of like keep them more safe and just focus on scoring. Like, you've got pretty good scoring assets here between your entire army. You've got 3 squads of Poxwalkers, the Spawn, the Tallyman. The Halls can obviously help out if needed by. But yeah, like, honestly, Potato, I think you'll be absolutely fine with that, mate. And I wish you the best of luck there. And just try and play with a bit of that advice said there, and it might help out sort of get those wins in there. But honestly, man, hope you have an absolute blast. And just, as usual with this list, look out for Eldar. Fire Dragons are stupid. I don't know if anyone saw the stats. Death Guard's win rate versus Eldar right now is like a 34% or something. That is not a matchup we like. I wonder why. But yeah, thank you so much for submitting that, Mr. Potato. So, Despian, can you check out my Shambot list from 1026 in Blight Surgery? Tagged you in it. We sure can. I want to do meds as well. Yeah, come on, you know you want to. Wait, I just realised meds is a fucking Votan one. Do we do a Votan one? Yes. I'm gonna let the chat decide if they want me to do a Votan one. To try and press me on like my over army knowledge. We'll let the chat decide. Right, okay, where have you tagged me? Despian. Is it this one here? That's Virulent Victorium. Which one is it, Despian? Where is it? One's 1026. 1026. The legendary turn of Aiden Tolly. So 26th of October. I forget you Americans put it around the other way around. You bunch of weirdos. 1028, 1027. Is it this one here? There we go. Okie dokie. Shamble Night Fever. Okay. I'm going to build the list first and then do it. Why not? Okay. Okay. Let's get this one done first. So I'll build the list first and then we'll go into it. So we've got triple Malignant Playcaster. You mad bastard. Love it. Triple Malignant Playcaster to start with. Great start. We also have a Noxious Blightbringer, the beloved Bellboy. Bing Bong. There we go. So we got the Bing Bong Boy. Then we're going to have Typhus himself. You've got to have Typhus in Shamble, haven't you? Just feels like a crime if you don't bring him along. Review the Votan, but you need to grow a beard. I'm supposed to do that to attach Kirby to my face. So we've got Typhus here. Then we're going to have a lot of... I need some Poxwalkers. All right, let's grab some Poxwalkers. Let's grab these. Yeah. Okay. Rock and Stone, brothers. So grab them. That's a squad of 20. So we've got one squad of 20. And then we need 1, 2, 3, 4 squads of 10. So there we go. So we're going to have 60 Poxwalkers starting. Obviously, we've got the 30 in reserves. Then we need a Chaos Rhino. We'll go grab that. There we go. I like the clean one. Then we have a Flesh Mower Drone. There we go. Flesh Mower Drone. Boop. Then we're going to have a triple HBL Drone. 1, 2. Oh, Control C, Control. Hello? You want to grab it? Please, grab. Hello. There we go. 1, 2, 3 HBL Drone. And then we're going to have... oh no, I've accidentally just copied and pasted like a million like lines of text into Discord. That's what I was doing accidentally. Triple Mythic Blight Hall at 1. So Control C, Control V. No, not them. The Hauler. There we go. 1, 2, 3. So we got 3 Haulers here. And then Night Despoiler. Okay. Okie dokie. Right. This is okay. This is pretty cool. Cheers, Chuck. No worries, mate. Thank you for popping in, man. Yeah, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It does help massively. Okay, so we're also rocking on these playcasters. One has the Talisman of Burgeoning, which is the one that gives a squad +1 toughness. So we're going to have a squad of toughness 5 Poxwalkers, not bad. Then we've got Sorrow Siphon, my beloved, to turn one of these playcasters into a 50 cal sniper. And then we also have the Witherbone Pipes on the Noxious Blightbringer for the OC2 plus the leadership bonuses. Right, let's have a read. This is my take on This is my take on Shamble with some added punishment. I've been mulling it over for a while and just haven't had time to paint all the extra Poxwalkers. The idea I had was Typhus plus Caster with Sorrow, leading a 20-man to act as a Pox machine gun with E to Plague Reload. Didn't know about the Pox bus until your list, so I added that in to try it, and I figured I could do Caster with Talisman, leading a unit, and a solo caster in the bus, or Noxious with Pipes, plus the Talisman caster in the bus for a T5 OC2 blob when they get out with the rerolling advances, if they need to cover ground, or to get out of dodge if the Rhino blows up. Another caster leading another unit. The rest is the Demon Engine package with the spice of a double Battle Cannon Despoiler. The game plan is to clog up as much as I can and stage as many guns as possible, so if they peek out to clean up the Pox, they cease to exist. I'm mostly curious if Typhus caster auto-loading machine gun is worth it, or if it's just a gimmick and trap. All units available to swap as well as the weapon loadouts for the FBDs and the Knight. Cool, right. So, now, this is an interesting one because, so if we look at it this way, we have Witherbone Pipes. The reason I like Witherbone Pipes with Typhus is because the OC2 and the ability to regenerate basically keeps this squad potentially just regenerating OC2 every time. Like, you can, in a single smite, potentially return 12 OC to this squad, which is kind of crazy when you think about it like that. Now, the reason that we can't do, so you had the idea was Typhus plus Caster. The Casters cannot join Typhus. The Noxious Blightbringer is the only one that has the rule that says it can join if there's already another character. Because I played with this idea initially at first, and unfortunately also got extremely shut down extremely quickly and made me very sad. So those guys can't join Typhus. So like this is the only viable combo you can do. Now, one thing to be said is if you are more of an aggressive player, you can instead replace the Witherbone Pipes with the Lord of the Walking Pox, and then you can turn on Rapid Ingress this squad and just be super aggressive and in your opponent's face with it. So that's a question that you can do. Now, over here, so we've got the Rhino here. So for me, if I'm running the Rhino here, it's going to be a case of Sorrow Siphon with the 10. Because the important thing is to get the value out of Sorrow Siphon, you just want to have the rerolls to wound as well from the Rhino, because that allows it to really punch up. Like, you can shoot into like vehicles, and with potentially damage for a shot, it can really like... Yeah, I know, despite his sorry, dude, to shatter your dreams. So, like, this is my ideal, just, like, Plague Bus loadout here. Now, you do have another guy here, which can be rocking, like you said, the Talisman of Burgeoning. Now, I would honestly, instead of taking Talisman, I would take... So, if we're keeping the same loadout, swap Talisman for the Lord of the Walking Pox. I think that can go on Playcasters. I'm not sure if that's Blightbringer only. I think Witherbone Pipes is Blightbringer, or maybe. I'm just going to check that. I'm just going to check it, because I know there's some limitations on some of these. Imagine if these works on non-Pox walking units, you could turn on Rapid Ingress Death Shroud. That'd be pretty epic. So let's have a look. It's called Lord of the Walking Pox. Lord of the Walking. Data sheet. Enhancement, there you are. No, but yeah, so just Death Guard model. So we could have... So what I would do there is potentially have... I would rather have the opportunity to Rapid Ingress this squad, potentially, because then you can have a turn on Rapid Ingress with this caster who can then go and, like, again, not only, like, he can arrive, he can walk up, he can shoot something with his pretty good flamer, and then he can also charge it and bonk it as well, and he's pretty okay in melee. So, like, a turn one, like, isn't too bad on that one. Now, what I would say potentially is, though, if I was going to be doing that, I think... what I would potentially look at doing is, because if we're saving Talisman of Burgeoning, which is currently 25 points, I believe. So we're going to save 10 points there. And I don't know if this list is bang on 2k. Possibly looks like it is. Potentially looks like it is. I think it is. So what we can do is we save the 10 points there by going to Lord of Walking Pox. At that point, if you're going to do that sort of turn 1 play, I think that's when you start looking at maybe getting rid of the Bloat Drone and just having this as like a double 20 man almost. So you'd be like, this now Rapid Ingress is turn 1. So then you have like this can Rapid Ingress and cause a massive pain in your ass to your opponent. You've still got 2 units to like just deploy Infiltrate and Screen. Typhus is sort of like your second wave that's going to go in. The Bloat Drone itself in this attachment doesn't do super much. Like you want most of your output to be like in your shooting. So like this is your shooting contingent. And that's still going to do a lot of damage. The problem obviously here now is that we're floating from 65 points from 110. Again, depends if you are bang on the money as well. You're now floating the 45 points, which is like super awkward because like what can you get for 45 points? Like really not much. That's just like you do have to pay another 10 Poxhawkers, which brings us to this like awkward position we're in now. But I feel like if we're going to run the Lord of the Walking Pox, I would rather have like the extra 10. I'd rather do it with a 20 man. Like a 10 man can be done. The only problem is, like again, this is then starting off the board, and that means the only like infiltrating Poxhawkers you got is these 2 20s. If your opponent goes first, yes, you can Rapid Ingress this obviously, but it just feels a little light on the footprint. And again, your entire idea is you want to make them come and stand out in the open and then get killed by all your shooting. So the best way to do that is to just have your Poxhawkers. So like personally, I probably just would I would almost just kill that Playcaster. And then with the points that you get back from him, I would probably just pick up another unit to bait out your opponent with. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put more Poxhawkers on you. Woe Poxhawkers be upon you. Like, I would rather, like, spend the points like that. And just have, like, an extra unit to sort of, like, just force my opponent out again. Because, and again, it's mainly because this Rhino exists. Which is a bit annoying. So yeah, you could actually do that in chat. You could potentially upgrade them Pathetic Blighthawk to a Predator Destructor. It would benefit the Bloat Drones quite well. There's nothing much else it's going to benefit, which is the only problem. Like the Bloat Drones get a benefit, the Haulers get a little benefit, but don't really need it. Obviously, the Big Knight doesn't obviously benefit from that either. I'm trying to think, what else could we do? Because it depends if you really want that third caster. There is actually like another option, which is to actually make that fit. So you go like this. So you get rid of the Bloat Drone, and instead of bringing the the caster, I think the Noxious Blightbringer is 10 points cheaper. I believe. Let me just check that again. I believe he's 50, whereas the Playcaster is 60. Which wait, I know I can figure this out because I think he's 25 with Witherbone Pipes. Yes, so I believe he is. Witherbone Pipes is, I believe, 60 points. Yes, it is 25 points. Sorry, yes. So he's 50. So that would free up another 10 points. Then you'd have 55 points floating. So you could potentially then go with. So you get this is gonna Rapid Ingress turn 1 and put pressure on your opponent, and then you have points to just go and get a Tallyman, for example, who can then just sit on your home and just be like, cool, this guy can just hold home now, because that gives you that extra 10 points to bring you to 55 floating, and then so now you'll be in 1995 list with this. So that's probably an option I'd go for, because that's a lot of pressure to put on your opponent now, because yes, you've only got 2 infiltrating units, but then you're going to drop another 20 of them potentially on, and the cool thing here is you can then Typhus can actually flex. So if you think you can get stuck in quite early, so if your opponent's got like a lot of things that can be regenerated, or he's not got many screens at the start of the game, you go, cool, Typhus can go with the turn 1 Rapid Ingress squad, and then you have Typhus also being pressure in that squad turn 1. He obviously has to come on from reserve, so he has to come on from a board edge, but that's not the worst thing. But if you feel like you're going to need that Typhus to be alive later in the big OC squad, you can chuck him in here. So it gives you a bit of Typhus tech there, where he can go, okay, this match he goes here, this match he goes here, which is quite cool to think about and something that's quite interesting. And it also preserves your sort of shooting package back here. So like that would be something I'd be quite interested in, to be honest. As for like the Knight, The Knight's like completely fine. When it comes to battle cannons versus Gatling cannons, kind of depends on the meta you're in. So here's the thing. It's very strange with Shamble Rot because Shamble Rot, it's one of the detachments where I genuinely end up picking -1 to hit quite a bit. Normally I'm a -1 save Andy, but in this attachment I really like -1 to hit because it just makes it harder to chew through those Poxwalkers and require more commitment to kill them. Now, if you're going to go -1 to hit, take Gatling cannons. Like, if you are a person that likes -1 to hit, you need the Gatling cannons because the AP2 is the only way you're going to get AP. Like, the battle cannons will be AP1 with no -1 save, so they're effectively AP0 into absolutely everything. Now, yes, you can still weight of dice things down pretty decently, but against anything with a 2-up save, they are effectively useless, where at least the Gatlings will still take them to a 3-up save. And again, it depends on your meta, because if you're in a meta where there's a lot of Marines, for example, the Gatlings are just really good at shredding absolute Marines to pieces, and they can still do a decent number against the high toughness targets. Now, you do have to remember, you still have 3 Strength 10 launchers here, and these 3 which are anti-vehicle as well, like the +1 to hit and wound. So, it kind of depends. If you feel like you need the Strength 10, then I'd go with the the battle cannons. But if you actually feel like the Gatling cannons can do enough work and kill infantry, because like infantry killing power here is a little scuffed. I obviously have the Predators in my list to make up for that. But like these don't matter. The Playcasters will murk infantry. Typhus can kill some infantry melee, but these guys can just be a bit flimsy on shot count. So sometimes like, with these guys having a random amount of shots, just having the Burt cannons just be like, here's 36 flat shots every single time they shoot can be really good. So like, there's not a right or wrong answer. It depends, 1, on the contagion you like to take, and 2, again, the kind of meta you're sort of in. I think I'd potentially try Gatlings first here, just see how it goes. But again, if you're comfortable playing with -1 save and just sacking off -1 to hit to the wind, then I would probably go with the battle cannons. Because again, the strength 10 is just a bit more catch-all. Plus the missiles on top as well. But again, the Gatling cannons also come with the flamers. So it's like really good anti-horde as well. Because then you have like 2d6 extra shots there. You got the flamers. And you have the stubbers as well, and the Gatling cannon and the battle cannons. So yeah, like that's one way I think I'd probably take it. Would just be have this more pressure on the opponent list. I think the solo flesh mode doesn't really do much for you. Double melee to spoiler. Hell yeah, it's running and punch shit. You don't need to worry about AP when you got that with fist on there. So this could be quite fun to play. Like I said, you have Typhus to tech choice between Tim Rapid Ingress to late game, sort of like objective holding. You've got a big amount of guns here. You've still got the Sorrow Siphon, Plague Bus here for a bit of a laugh. And you've still got some infiltrating Poxwalkers. And bear in mind, the actual army does actually obviously look like this. Because obviously you got your 3 units that are coming in from reserve as well. So, like, that's realistically what your army looks like. And that's quite a lot for an opponent to chew through. And, like, if they can't chew through it, they're going to have a real bad time. So, yeah, honestly, it looks really fun, mate. So, I'm quite, I think that's probably where I would land with this style of list. But again, obviously, you try out what you think, mate. Go with what you think's working for yourself and let us know how you get on with it, mate. But hopefully that answers some of your questions for you and hopes gives you a bit of input on your list choice there, mate, Mr. Despian. Anyone else who's in the chat who would like us to take a look at theirs, feel free to obviously make a shout. We can obviously do the Votan one if that's what the people want from Meds. I'm just going to grab all this if we're doing that, because I would like to just keep these in the corner because I don't want to delete them. Save object. That was potato. And this one is Despian. Right, okay. Let's do some Votan. Right, we'll do Votan. Do you want to look at yours, Don? What do you even need, Don? You don't need any feedback. You can kill everyone. Reeves and okay, cool. We can do yours as well, Reeves. So what we'll do is we'll do the Votan one, and then we'll do yours, Reeves. Or Revs. Is it Revs or Reeves? I don't know what you prefer pronouncing. Right, where's the button for Votan? Let me find it. Here we go. Meds, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships, mate. Okay, now I'm definitely going to do the Votan. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it. If you got gifted one, make sure you say thank you to Mr. Meds as well. Really do appreciate it, mate. That is really generous. Very, extremely generous. Don is a member now. Look at him. Don is a member. So Johnny Combo, if you are a Blight Lord tier member, you upload them into the Blight Surgery channel on the Discord page. Right. So, let's have a look. Kane Perry's. Oh, thank you so much for coming to Plague Marine yourself as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the support tonight. Right, Mr. Meds, let's have a look. Okay. So, this is half band. So, this is the Grotmus attachment. Cool, we like that. Revs, like an engine, like revs. Okay, I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself by making random noises now. Okay, so we need Uther the Destined. We need 2 Iron Here champions, which I will still say today is my favorite model in 40k. I know you're all gonna hate me because it's not a Death Guard model, but like I have this guy on my desk painted orange, and it's still one of my absolute favorite things. It's so cool. I love the exosuit armor for these guys. So much. Triple Brockier Thunderkin. Brockiers, there you are. I feel like I need to go put a beard on. Nat, do we have a beard?
Pardon?
Do we have a beard?
Do we have
Just a beard lying around, or just something like a rag. Can I get me a tea towel?
Where's your Lord Farquaad shit?
Oh god, that's like the back of the thing, you don't have a
Where'd you have
beard.
a bit, did it?
No, you can get a tea towel or something. I was gonna put it on my
That
face.
might look a bit wrong.
No, it won't look. Will it look wrong? Potentially. Just go strap socks to myself. I feel like I need to be a dwarf. I don't have enough dwarfing energy in me. Then we got 2 squads of berserks. 1 with the axes, 1 with the mauls here. Cool. So let's just grab them. So 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 hammer bros, and then you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I still want to take Votan to an event. I still really do. Then we have 10 90 guards, 5 90 guards. So the full squad, the boys. That is not 10. That is. They have such weird amounts here, right? So 10 90 guard, and then we have another 5 90 guard. So let's grab 5 of the buggers. We've got 5 90 guard, 10 90 guard. Okay, that's that. Then we have 10 Hernkin Jaegers, which I think are these guys here. Halfkin Jaegers, sorry. No, they do not have... all the models are all different colours. Oh, it brings me so much ugliness. Oh, okay, Jaegers. I hate doing this. Triple Hecaton Land Fortress. What a Chad. What an absolute Chad. With the rail cannons on everything. Again, absolute Chad energy. Who needs consistency when we can just have big gun? Oh yeah, welcome back, Rug. This is now Rock and Stone, the Rock and Stone podcast. I'm gonna come and take over stuff. So let's go. And a Capricus. There we go, Capricus. Okay, so welcome everybody. I don't need to like put on that. This feels so weird doing Votan on the Death Card channel. I was bribed, everybody. I was bribed. Okay. Okay. So there's a lot of Aidens on the screen. Okay, so very quickly, let's sort of get this down. So we are playing half band here. There's no Hathkin Warriors. So questions straight up going to be here is going to be obviously character attachments. Now Uther can actually run solo. I imagine it's going to be probably something like this. Obviously, Uthgar actually can join one of these squads if he wants to. Uthgar is giving out the free stratagem every single turn. Guys, how do I unstop? I don't blame you at this point. I really don't blame you. So, I do like Uthar's a great include. I do like the Iron Half Guards. Now, one thing I will say on the Iron Half Guard is you do have Bastion Shield. Really do like Bastion Shield because you got the 18. You have the ability to spend a a yield point token to be able to get an 18-inch aura of Armor of Contempt. Basically, if someone's within 18 inches, do not give me a Necron list. You get Armor of Contempt, which is really cool, so I like that. I'd probably put that on your big squad. Obviously, you can combine that with 6-inch Deep Strike, potentially making any certain units that use 6-inch Deep Strike within unable to get out of the 18-inch range, so you can guarantee you're going to have Armor Contempt when you need it, which is, again, really, really cool. Like that. Now, we've got 3 squads of Brokir Thunderkin. Now, one of these squads has bolt cannons, the other 2 have graviton blast cannons. Now, I understand the logic for the bolt cannon logic is obviously that they have longer range. Because obviously these guys, anything they hit can no longer benefit from cover. Now that range does synergize a bit more with the Magna Rail cannons because they have the 36-inch range on them. One thing I would say is, though, I don't know if it's worth taking a suboptimal weapon just for the extra range to proc ignores cover. I think, in general, like, the bolt cannons are okay. They're strength 6, AP1, 2 damage with sustain 2. But I do think that, in general, I would prefer the graviton blast cannons or the conversion beamers, mainly because that both of them can kill infantry. Like, they're both damage. So damage 3 is still great at killing infantry, especially elite infantry. You're not really struggling too much at being able to kill like guard equivalent infantry, so you don't really need the you've got all the bolt cannons on these hecatons here. They've also got the auto cannons. You've also got the shoulder mounted grenade launchers here as well. So like killing like normal infantry is not an issue that bolt cannons with the sustain 2s really need for. But what you like, again, what I would rather have is I would rather have a gun that is great at still being able to kill vehicles and monsters with the anti on the grav, but still efficient into those elite infantry models, such as, you know, like sanguinary guard, things like that. Because one thing that you have in this army is an incredible amount of answers to elites. All these grav cannons can be damage 3. All these melee weapons here are damage flat 3. The gauntlets and stuff are only damage 2, obviously, but again, you can potentially against monsters and vehicles get them to damage 3. It's like a lot of high damage melee in Votan, which is pretty cool. So for me, just for the sake of also keeping it a bit easier as well, and these hecatons kind of want to be used aggressively. You don't want to be holding them back too far. You want to make use of the fact that they're not super expensive. They are still T12 with a 2-up save as well, which is really good. And basically, your opponent's going to have to kind of like deal with them at some point. So if you're going to be moving up there, you might as well just make use of the better weapon profile you can bring with the Thunderkin of the grav. So I do prefer grav here. Now, I'm going to have the same discussion about the axes and the hammers here. Because, you know, the list, honestly, I like the list. It's mainly, this is going to be all about, weapon loadouts for me. Hello, 40k Durbex. Congratulations on best Death Guard, mate. I did see. Congratulations there. World's Championships seem pretty rough. Pretty rough meta right now for Death Guard out there. I saw the stats for the win rate versus like Eldar and Adamek, and it's not pretty. So well done on your performance despite the very rough field you had to face there. And congrats on rank 1. So here we've got our hammers and our axes. Now, I've had this discussion actually yesterday on Vanguard Tactics, and for me, I don't see the point in axes. So let me put it this way for you. The only difference between the two weapons, they have the same amount of attack, same weapon skill. The axes are strength 7 and the hammers are strength 5. But the hammers are also rocking anti-monster vehicle 3, and they're both flat damage 3. So, in the very specific scenario where you are against toughness 6, ironically Death Guard, the axes are better, quite a lot better, because the hammers will ruin Plague Marines and stuff on 5s, whereas obviously the axes there will win them on 3s. That's pretty good. That, though, is actually kind of niche. Most Marines are going to be T4. T5, the max. So your hammers, especially against T4, are wounding the exact same as the axes, and the exact same flat damage 3 as well. Now, that means that you are basically, when you take an axe, when you take a hammer, you have a weapon that is okay, is decent, it is a decent weapon for killing in elite infantry. It's not the best, but it's decent. But it's also an amazing weapon for killing vehicles. The axe, on the other hand, is a good weapon at killing infantry, but it is a terrible weapon for killing vehicles, because you need 5s to wound. So I would rather take something that is still decent at killing melee, but has the option to just go and whap a tank out of existence, rather than the opposite scenario, which is this is pretty good at killing melee, but it's really going to struggle the second it sees a tank. And I also don't like mixing the loadouts, because quite often, like, if you're against a person that knows what they're doing, if you just tell me your hammer squad's in this hecaton over here on this flank, I'm just going to send my vehicles the other way to the axe squad, and I'll deal with that. Whereas the hammers being in both, I just can't escape it. It's like I'm going to have to eat this charge at some point. So for me, I would much rather prefer doubling up on like the hammers. I just think the hammers have more catch-alls in general, and that just make them better than the axes for me personally. So I'm just going to put that up there. So that's the way I feel about it personally. Now, when it comes to your Hearthguard here, you do have the concussion gauntlets and the plasma gun, which is 100% the right call. I feel like Volkite weapons, when you come to use them, basically at this point are kind of redundant. Like, Hearthguard should never take Volkite, because I feel like Volkite's entire thing is trying to get dev wounds through volume, But if you're trying to bring a unit that wants to put dev wounds on someone via volume, why the hell would you pay the 270 points for this squad when you could instead just bring 6 Steeljacks for 160, get more shots that can also overwatch on 5s as well, and with the more shots that you get, you also get extra strength and extra AP. So, yes, heavy intercessors are T6 3 wounds, but I am not seeing my meta lit up by heavy intercessors right now. They are not my concern. my concern is more like the Vanguard veterans and shit being thrown down my throat. Or the elves, for example, and they both kill elves pretty good. So for me, the Volkites just doesn't really like make sense for this squad at all. Like, you're always just going to take the Plasma and the Gauntlet. Again, the Sword just doesn't really have a purpose right now. You're just going to end up taking the Gauntlet. You can make it damage 3 in close combat versus the, versus the big boys, which is really nice. Now, this is really close to a list I actually looked at last night. Like, the only thing, like, I would possibly consider changing, because it is solid, but if you wanted to potentially move away from the Hecaton sort of like skew, I have a bit more balanced out, a bit more balance and a bit more scoring potential and a bit more utility, is you can drop the Fortress, you can bring in a Sagittor, which I know aren't great at the moment, but with the Sagittor you also get to bring in a full squad of 10 warriors, which is, where's 10 here? God, why are they so weirdly laid out, these squads? You go, like, there you go, so let's go there. You can bring in 10 warriors, which then obviously the Sagittor lets you split. So then you have 2 sticky objective squads. Uthar can also potentially join one then as well, which is really nice. So these guys can be sticking your home objective, for example. It also gives you the ability to then go with a Sagittor, play a little denial turn for throwing out 5 guys here. So you throw out these 5 little dudes here. They go out, they flip an objective with the 10 OC. And then if you wanted to, you can even reload it and do it the next turn with a second 5-man squad. So it just gives you a bit more of a passive ability to play the game. Like, I feel like the Hecaton build is just a lot more blunt, brute force trauma to the face, which is not a bad thing by any means. But again, this is like a way you can take it in a bit more of a more balanced take. All comers can kind of just play the scoring game. If I get a matchup where I can't just, like, again, if you're against like the Fire Dragons, again, it's already a horrendous matchup because Eldar's stupid. But like, you cannot push the Hecatons forward because they will pop all of them in a turn if you let them. Whereas here, you can like at least set, the Sagittor can scout up, you can get 5 guys out, deny them primary for a turn at least, and then kind of preserve your Hecatons a bit, and they're forced to react to come and do something about the Sagittor, otherwise you'll just do it again with the next 5 guys. So it's just a little bit more playing to like those harder matchups, but those harder matchups still remain hard, don't get me wrong. So like, that is an option you can go with it, or like I said, you can just keep doing what you were doing with the Hecatons, which I think is fine as well. Like, and again, rail cannons, it depends on your meta. If you've still got, like, if the rail cannons are going to get value if you're against a lot of things that don't have invulnerables and are susceptible to those high damage weapons. But outside of that, just swap them to conversion beamers depending on the meta that you have and the targets that you're going to have, because obviously the conversion beamers just genuinely have more shots. So if you're shooting into just elite infantry or anything like that, it's also like pretty good to have as well. And you got to remember, all of this is real in 1s to hit and wound, so these actually become fairly reliable on the rail cannons. Like, you're hitting on 4s, you're on 1s, potentially 3s if they're on an objective, or if you're on an objective in late game. So yeah, just remember that. But overall, like, this is like one way I take it, but I think that list you had before is fine. For me, I just doubled down your weapon loadouts. So just make sure you haven't got you've got redundancy with the doubling down the weapon loadouts and tripling down on the broke here. I don't think you need the bolt cannon squad. Like, you could even potentially, and I would still keep them. It's still really good to remove cover, but I would just keep them as the grab weapons or conversion beamers, whatever's. I just don't think the bolt cannons are doing great at the moment. Like, strength 6, AP1, 2 damage is decent, but you've already got it on your Hecatons all over the place if you need it really badly. You could make an argument potentially if you wanted, again, more scoring, drop a Hecaton, getting some stuff like Pioneers, things like that. But like, overall, like, honestly, mate, it's a pretty damn solid list. So I would be happy with that as a Votan player. Like, that is, if I could be asked to buy and paint another Hecaton, I would be running this because I actually own the rest of it, just not a second, not two, not. I have 1 Hecaton, not 3. Instead, I have 5 painted Sagittors, which are now not very good. Sadly, Sagittor spam is dead, which makes me very, very sad. So yeah, hopefully that was interesting for you, meds. Hopefully that was helpful. Again, I'm not a Votan pro by any means, but I think that's where I would go with it because I like the more like ability to like trade and do like primary denial with the little 5-man squads in the Sagittor. But I do think the brute force Hecaton build works excellently as well, mate. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a little bit of something different there, in my opinion, on some some Votan input. Right. Do we have anyone else who wants theirs checking out in the chat while I quickly reload up the Death Guard models on here, and then loaded some Votan to hide in the back. Quickly get rid of these, get rid of the multicolour fog, because that just absolutely tanks FPS. There we go. Oops. Well, that's Morty dead. Whoops, my bad. So if anyone would let theirs looking at, it is some short Death Guard, isn't it, Will? You didn't see nothing. Right, let me find him. So there's meds. I'm not doing a goddamn tout. I do Votan list because I play Votan, but I'm not looking at not looking at those. You think the new characters? I mean, it could do it could honestly be pretty good. I'd have to see what the rules on him is going to be. Hopefully, he's interested in the new Berserker character. I'd like him to be good. So I'd always like new models to be good. Last thing I ever want is a new model to come out and it just be like dog shit, because that's all the hype gone. Like the new Knight, for example. That was a bit of a sad one, wasn't it? And the Despian, Dave's Thing, PM Training, Potato. There you go, Potato. So Potato up here. I'll put Potato here. So there's our list from tonight so far. Excellent. Right, so we've got Roly Poly and Chris Franson. So I have time for one. I will do the next one first thing on the next stream. Oh, I did say Rivs. Sorry, I did say Rivs, didn't I? I did say Revs. Okay, so let me make a note. The two guys just said we'll do theirs first, next one. So we've got Roly Poly and Chris Franson. We'll do you guys on the first one next week. I did already promise Revs. I apologize, Revs. That was my complete fault. I have the brain capacity of a potato. There we go. I want to be on stream. Like the name. Okie dokie. Right. Okie dokie. Let's have a look at this. So we have Taliban. Okay, Taliban summoners. Okie dokie. Right. Let me have a quick sip of the drink boot. Let's rock it. Do. Love all the hype for Taliban at the moment. Let me just load the Taliban in just so I have some models. There we go. Okay, so we are rocking a great unclean one to get us going here. Ooh, I've just accidentally closed it. There we go. Great unclean one. So we have a Fat Man. One Fat Man. Then we have a Lord of Contagion. So we'll grab him. Lord of Contagion. Then we're going to have with the Fell Harvester. So he's going to have +2 attacks. Then we've got Rotigus himself. So we've got 2 big fat boys. 2 squads of Plague Bearers. I swear, have I already loaded this list in? Have we been the same thing? 3 Beasts of Nurgle. Oh, you had to go and ruin it, didn't you? Objects. I need to load in a Beast of Nurgle. There you go. You got that. Probably just absolutely. Yep, there you go. Crushed completely. Hopefully that Beast of Nurgle will load. And you guys can all go away now. Oh, you made me do this. Here we go. Lovely corrupted files. 1 Beast of Nurgle. 2 Beast of Nurgle. 3 Beast of Nurgle. Are we playing Chaos Demons? Who knows? 1 squad of 3 Death Shroud Terminators. Let's get them, boys. So you guys come up here with him. Then we're going to have 1, 2, 3 Fetid Bloat drones with light launchers. Triple HBL drone as well. Let's go steal these from over here. We need a 3rd one of you and a 3rd one of you. And then we're going to have 6 Nurglings and 10 Poxwalkers. So 6 Nurglings here and 10 Poxwalkers, which we can go and definitely steal from Mr. up here. Right, Mr. Spardians. Cool. Okay, so do we have any enhancements? Because we've got Fell Harvester here. Okay, we've got Fell Harvester, but nothing else. Okay. So this is quite an interesting one because I quite like the fact that we still got 6 Demon Engines. Beast and Nurgle are just generically amazing anyway. Just having Scout on that really annoying profile, and they really do force bad trades, because again, if you don't kill them, they are genuinely just going to heal to full, and you've basically just wasted whatever you sent out, because then it's going to get picked up by these Blight Launch drones here. Now, one thing though, I really want to see is probably going to be some form of Beckoning Blight. And I know I sound like a broken record when I say that. I feel like Beckoning Blight kind of gives... So, okay, so when we talk about Taliban, there are two camps of Taliban lists that do well. There is Chunk, and there is 6 inches. Now, Chunk and 6 inches is something that I am definitely not familiar with. I'm familiar with one of those aspects. I'll let you figure out which one. But I'm not familiar with the one. Where's the left stream now, boys? But we have lists that basically lean into either full chunks. You will see something like... let me quickly make this here. So you'll have like all these demon engines here. Like this, you get rid of the Plague Bearers. Maybe you bring a Beast of Nurgle or 2. You don't really like even bring like the Death Shroud. Like you can bring Death Shroud. You bring Nurglings to just be an absolute annoying twat. And it's basically you end up with something that is akin to like having like this chunk level. So you probably have to cut like an engine there. So you end up with something like this. Obviously, you got some more poxwalks and whatnot. Basically, the idea is you're just saying, here is a bunch of holes. It's kind of going down this sort of like the Iron Hands, the tank spam route, where it's like, here's just a bunch of holes. Yeah, Despian, all right. And you basically, it's a skew list. It's focusing on high toughness, skewing your opponent's either going to be able to deal with it or not going to be able to deal with it, depending on how they sort of approach the situation and the list that they've brought. You back it up with a cheap engine, so you spend a load of points in chunk. I've even seen like, you know, triple like this. So like, for example, this here is like just over like 1,000 something, and then you bring like 5 engines. That's like another bit, and then you basically have like some Nurglings here. Take the beasts out, you keep the beasts in, and then you bring like another Poxwalker unit or 2. Like, that is genuinely a list. Now, in that one, a lot of it starts on the board. Maybe you put one Great Unclean one in reserves, but a lot of it's just going to march forward, trying to just tank stuff with its T13 chunkiness. Now, in certain metas, this is great. If you're against an MSU player, I have an absolute nightmare trying to get this stuff down. If you're against anything that's... This is struggling a bit more of this build at the moment because we're against a meta of Fire Dragons, which will kill these things more than happily. You're against Raven Guard right now with Super Oath, which will mark one of these and just be like, here's 6 Death Centurions. Like, don't get me wrong, you've got a 4-up invulnerable, you can bounce stuff, but it's not hard for them to kill. So the chunk build has kind of fell off. Now, what people have been going to instead, Derek included, they'll just kill his Dispel is going to this 6-inch build. So what they're doing is they're not actually bringing double Great Unclean One. Now, you can bring double Great Unclean One, there's nothing wrong with that. But what you're seeing is people instead building an army around basically abusing 6-inch deep strike. So you're seeing something like this, where it's this like this Lord of Contagion will instead probably be like a Lord of Virulence, for example. So it'd be LOV from over here, like this. And then you're still bringing your launcher drones. You're bringing like 2 Blight Halls, 2 Blight Halls instead, like this. So you have 3 and 2 like that. You're seeing like again Beast of Nurgle. Like, again, this is very roughly off memory of what Derek's running. It might be, you might only have 2 Blight drones, but he has something like this. And then what you do actually bring is you bring again Nurglings, which can be extremely annoying, form early walls for you like that. And then you have Beckoning Blight, which is the aura of 6-inch deep strike on this Lord of Virulence. And then you bring 20 Plague Bearers who can, from reserves, will have a 5-inch deep strike because they get +1 to charge. So they come against 6 inches away. And you basically do this entire build that's fully focused on dropping on someone's face and just getting in there and just tying everything up, causing chaos, flipping primary with these guys while your demon engines kind of hold your backline and get in the middle of it all. Now, now you can obviously in here, you could drop the this here and bring in a second Fat Man if you wanted to, because that's 260 points. He's 250, so they can swap out. But it does force you to put Beckoning Blight on this guy here, the Lord of Contagion. So then it all becomes about this Lord of Contagion. Now, there is a way to circumvent this by basically having something that Epsy did recently from our channel. He was running a Rhino in his list as well. So I even think he got rid of that guy here. And in the Rhino, he was running a Lord of Poxes and a 5-man Marine unit. And Lord of Poxes was rocking the Beckoning Blight. So he was rocking the 6-inch aura. Now, the interesting thing is, he himself... he wasn't rocking the Beckoning Blight. But So what would happen is the Terminator Lord is running the Beckoning Blight. So he's got the aura for the demon is to 6-inch deep strike. But to enable the Death Shroud to get into a good position, the Lord of Poxes sits in the Rhino, and then he'll basically behind a wall near some demons in the Rhino. And on turn 2, because you've got to bear in mind, the Lord of Poxes naturally gets to add 3 inches to his own contagion range all the time. So he on turn 2 will have a 6-inch contagion range, and if he's near a Nurgle demon, he gets to add another 3 inches to that. So on turn 1, he's got a 9-inch contagion range. Turn 2, he's got a 12-inch contagion range, which is real big. Like 12-inch bubble around him. Like I can't remember. I turn on the bloody bubble things. I can't remember how to do it. Is it this? What is it? It might be only in game. Might be in VTuber. But still, the point is like 12-inch aura out from him is like that, and bear in mind it's a bubble. So it's both sides, so you get 12 inches there. So he's covering 24 across. So he's covering like that much in contagion alone. And obviously he's going to hop out of a Rhino. So he's got an 8-inch move followed by a 12-inch contagion on turn 2. This is bear in mind. So that is a 20-inch threat range on contagion. And you can advance, so potentially up to 26 inches. So you can literally be on a board and potentially contagion something that is that far away. In a massive aura, bear in mind, so you can contagion something there, and then your Death Shroud drop in within 6 inches of something, anything that you've tagged. The Death Shroud drop in, and the Death Shroud then create a landing zone for these guys to come and drop in. So the idea is you basically just use the engines here to keep your opponent sort of humble and not to rush you, because you can shoot them and whatnot. And then you launch forward this Beckoning Blight fella. So you launch forward the Lord of Poxes, you then drop in your Death Shroud. One of them, or this in this instance, the one, is carrying the Beckoning Blight. And then what you do is then drop the demons around them, and you just have this massive drop turn, and then you charge everything and anything. You use the stratagem to stop people trying to fall back from demons, and if you can combine that with an icon in either the Death Shroud or the Plague Marine squad, they're going to have an additional -1 to the leadership test. And if you manage to keep an enemy unit from falling back, that can keep your unit safe from being shot, and you just go from there. And you can put the Fell Reaper from the Lord of Contagion, the +2 attacks, onto the Lord of Poxes. So now he'll have 8 attacks as well, at 8-2-2 or 8-3-2 in -1 save. So he hits like a truck as well. And then you just have this massive turn of dropping in, tagging everything, 9 primary, and then you've got to try and dig the way out of this hole. There's Death Shroud in the lines. There's 2 Great Unclean Ones in the lines. These Plague Bearers have just charged an objective and tagged something. If this, you turn 1, you had this Nurgling unit, like, in a massive screen and they got killed. Cool, you pay a CP, put them back into reserves, and now on turn 2, they're joining the massive assault. They're going to drop in 6 inches away from an opponent, charge something, tie it up, just stop them scoring, stop them moving. It's really, really fun. So what I'm going to ask you, Revs, is ask yourself which one of these builds sounds more cool to you. And if it's the chunk way, you can go the chunk build, where you bring all the demon engines and all the Great and Clean Ones, but I think you are more looking at this way here. So what I would do is something a bit like this in general. So you can still bring your Beast of Nurgle here. You can still bring a Beast of Nurgle or 2, but try and find a way to bring in the 6-inch deep strikes, because that's going to enable these 2 fat men to get the most value out of them and allow your Death Shroud to gain. So basically you just need to set up this here. Now you don't need this fancy thing, obviously, like a unit of Chaos Spawn or even a Beast of Nurgle with like a drone near it to give it contagion can set up that initial drop, but it's just this unit specifically is really good at penetrating your opponent's lines and getting that contagion in nice and deep, so it gives you more options of where to drop in. So hopefully something like that. Again, I'm not sure if this is 2K I'm looking at. Obviously, this was more just to show you an idea of like a theory of the list. Someone would have to put this in real quick for me and see what this looks like on the actual thing, because I'm not too sure myself yet. Obviously, you can have, you know, 1 Plague Bearer unit starts on the board. They can sticky home objective, and, you know, you can then just have 3 Nurglings screen out home the entire game and hold it for you. But yeah, hopefully, Revs, that gives you something to sort of work with there, and sort of something to, you know, build upon. Heretical, obviously, you're on YouTube called Heretical, and sort of gives you an idea of how to play the list as well with Talibands. It's just to get that massive 6-inch sort of drop on your opponent and just absolutely cause chaos in the lines. So hopefully something like that is pretty cool and sounds interesting enough for you to want to take it. But yeah, so look at those lists. Look how cool they are. I will still say this. Even though our army is struggling a bit at the moment, look at the diversity of lists that can be taken to events. It is so cool. And the weird thing is, I hear people go on that the Death Guard book's terribly internally balanced, and I'm just like, is it? I'm like, I thought it was pretty good. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I'd like to see certain things get a little points drop or a little buff, but like, I think our book's still like solid. It's just that like, Eldar and Sisters are just not like great matchups for us, and they're top dogs at the moment. And we got like nerfed quite hard on points, but like, honestly, like, we're still like a fine and fun army, and I would rather have an army like this that can bring all these builds to events and do well. Maybe not win it, but still do well, rather than having a book with literally one build that, yeah, will win tournaments, but it has one build, and when that gets nerfed or figured out, it just ceases to exist. So yeah, that's where I'm at for tonight. And a Votan list, because Meds is a legend and what a Votan looking at. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I'm going to take a I'm going to start taking print screens of this actually, so we can post them at the end of the night and just be like, look guys, this is what we managed to make tonight. Here's the list. I keep messing this print screen up somehow really badly. That'd be quite funny. Oh, go away in the corner. There we go. Right, try again. I'm not very good at this print screen stuff. There we go. And we'll post them in the Discord so people can see what we got up to tonight. But yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of tonight, though. So I am back with the boys tomorrow, obviously, for our Tuesday stream. I think we're going to be looking at the WCW results. I have got the big wheel of Nurgle ready, though, that we're going to probably spin the week after for something to do. For sort of talk about, like, you know, random questions from you guys and our thoughts for, like, what 11th edition could be. So you have that to look forward to. But tomorrow it's going to be looking at WCW results. What's doing well? What's the meta like? What's doing too strong? Do we think anything needs fixing? Nerfing? Things like this. Nerf Eldar. It unfortunately breaks my heart to say Necrons didn't do very well either, because I really wanted them to get nerfs. And we'll obviously talk about the reveals that happened. A lot of Nurgle. Anyone here a fan of Age of Sigmar? Because my god, those new AOS models looking really good. Actually, Natalie, what are you painting currently? What is this?
Shrek.
She's painting Shrek, guys, as she likes to call him. She's also got the Nurgle plague. She's down with the sickness, and she's just started painting a Great Unclean one, so I'm sure you can look forward to update pictures of that as and when they come on the Discord as well, because I think you've been wanting to paint Nurgle for a little bit, because it's quite fun. They are fun to paint, Nurgle, to be fair. So yeah, you have painted one before, but now you get a bit. You mean 40k kit bash medals? Hell yeah, Meds. Like, those Cankerborn, I'm going to, like, try and use them as spawn. I need to see the sizes. And obviously, that guy looks like a Demon Prince. I would love to have him as a Demon Prince. So I'm going to see what I can get away with, like, stealing. But I'm also interested in playing some Rockbringers in AOS as well. Because they do look really, really, really cool. And those reveals, although sad it wasn't Death Guard, I kind of knew it wasn't going to be. But still cool to see some new Nurgle models. And they've done a bit of an aesthetic change, kind of gone away from the cartoony vibes and a bit more towards like the guts out and all that stuff. So I'm hoping that maybe we start seeing that for Death Guard, where we go a bit more of the grimdarky route, and we get like more guts and stuff hanging out rather than like mouths everywhere. Like, don't get me wrong, I still like the look of the models with the mouths and stuff everywhere, and the Nurglings are cute and whatnot. But I would love for a little bit more grimdark on my Death Guard sometimes. But I guess personal preference, isn't it? But I am eager beaver to see what comes out next. And hey, maybe we get some from these 500 Worlds campaign. I've no idea. All I know is Ultramarines are probably going to get 5 more releases because they need them, obviously. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Space Marine too, so seeing Titus, I was like, that's pretty cool. But at the same time, I'm like, Ultramarines, and then they ruined it with a Necron preview. That one really upset me. And they're getting 6 new detachments, so Space Marines are now going to have like 20 plus detachments, which, you know, they need them, you know, they really need them. They really need them. And Necrons are getting 3 more, which I'm sure are going to be very balanced and definitely not like hypercrits. I'm wambling now. I'm wambling, which is wah. Wait, you're not making an AOS channel. Yeah. Festus does look amazing. Festus does look really amazing. The Leech Man himself. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling anyway. So, thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for being in the chat. And thank you for submitting your list. Again, I will do those 2 fellas next time first thing, and we will again do some more next time we're on. Probably be on Sunday for the next Blight Surgery, And yeah, for now, everybody, hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening, your night, your morning, your day, wherever you are in the world. Hope you guys have enjoyed this little blight surgery. I do enjoy doing them with you and having a bit of a discussion about lists and stuff. It's always fun to make a variety of fun lists for people to take to events and have a good time with. But yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of tonight. So again, just a quick reminder, if you do want to support the channel, consider becoming a member, or even just leaving a like, a comment, a subscribe if you're not. We're almost at 14k subs, which is really cool. The channel's still continuing to grow, which is, you know, always nice to see. Big up the DRP Mandem. That is 100% true, and that is how I speak on the daily. I am down with the children. Hells yeah, and all that. So
You've got to do a double cheese stream now.
please no. You didn't hear that. Stream didn't hear that.
Double
No,
cheese.
we're not doing that. And yeah, hopefully I'll get. We've had a bit of a crazy week last week. A lot of things happened, which kind of threw a lot of our plans off the kilter. So hopefully we're going to be back to normal. I can get some videos up for you this week because I have some made. I've just not had a second to sit down and sort of just record and get them edited and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully I get back on it. Damn work. Damn you work. Why do you have to exist? Just let me stay home, make videos and play Death Guard. Down with the children hype for sure. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you so much. Roland, just check your settings, mate, because I swear you should have got one by now. Like, just make sure you have got the option to be able to get gifted subs on, gifted membership, sorry. It's kind of worrying at this point. You're either as cursed as I am, or you haven't got the setting on. So just Google how to check the setting and just double check you have got it enabled, mate. Because you are very unlucky if that's the case. But yeah, for now, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you all on the next episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast. Stay rotten, take care, bye-bye.
In the void, where the warp winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Great wardens stir, betrayal takes shape, typhoons whispers, sealing their fate. Navigators lost to the shadowed lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight, chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide, Mortarian's pride, with nowhere to hide. The destroyer plague, a grim reward, Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Mortarian stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The legion reborn, their fate revealed. Rise in the armor, rot in the soul. A Primarch remade, his heart grown cold. In terror shadow, their war drums beat. Pestilent warriors, no chance of retreat. Through breach and ruin, their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The lion's gate, where hope was torn. Jagged-sized blade meets the blade born. Bound by decay, they rise lives, eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarians fall, Typhus ascends, the death god song, it never ends.